Okay. You'll find yours on the top.
Okay.
Okay. So if you guys could look at the screen, that'd be great.
Okay, so yeah, this doesn't say much, but this is what I came up with and I'm going with, I think. Frozen yogurt places in Santa Barbara and close by. This is the ones I found on Yelp or whatever it's called.
Do you like frozen yogurt?
Kind of.
Okay.
It's I don't have a sweet tooth, but like it's alright.
It's all right.
I think it's like I enjoy looking at it. It's so many colors and.
You're such an artist. You picked it because of the aesthetics.
Yeah, and yeah, this is just I try to gather as much information as possible of all the places. One of them, I think this one, Twin Cups, closed down. I think, I'm not sure. They might have changed name also, and yeah, like hours of operation and the homepage. And I didn't find prices anywhere online, so I had to go and ask them, I guess. And yeah, this is the color themes. I want something with like this blue color. I haven't decided yet. There's some types. That's pretty much what I got so far.
So tell us what you're missing.
I don't know exactly.
Okay.
I don't know what to put in it. More like I think I need a bit more information.
Yeah,
Maybe,
you do.
I don't know.
So you didn't have to guess. You did know that there was a list of things required for your design brief, right?
Yeah, I think I followed it.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Well, let's get some more going for you. So this maybe will help you guys. So if you guys are on your computer, I'd love your attention up here, please. Okay. So we're going to start by brainstorming for you because I think you need help.
Yeah. It feels like it.
Do you feel like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not very excited about his yogurt, is he? We need to taste it for you.
Yeah.
Maybe what you do is you need to buy yogurt cards for all of us and then hand them out and we'll go field research for you.
Yeah. Sounds like an idea.
It does, doesn't it? Okay. All right. So you're doing yogurt in Santa Barbara.
Yep.
Okay. So maybe this will help all of you. Who's doing a store kind of thing? What are you doing?
Burgers.
Burgers. Okay. This will help you. And Laura, who's not here today, she's doing Mexican food. And who else is doing a foodie thing? What are you doing?
The boba?
That's right,
Oh,
the boba.
I'm doing
Right,
it's not really food though, the whiskey cocktails.
the whiskey cocktails. Yeah, it's all similar stuff. So let's brainstorm it. Okay, so all of you are going to have to create locations, right? So
Yeah.
when you identify and compare locations, you're going to find a map, and chances are your map is going to be that pan and zoom expanding thing. Yep. All right. You might want to make your own map with your own icons on it. Okay. Now a map might just be for location, or you decide if your map does other things. Maybe you have a map overlay of ranking them by the best to the least. Okay, so you're going to want to know what flavors they have, right? And the number of flavors.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
How else do you guys rank yogurt?
Cup options.
Cup options.
Self-serve.
And toppings and stuff.
So
Yeah.
cup options means what?
Oh.
Sizes, or does it mean do it yourself?
Sizes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
You could rank it with like ingredients, how healthy or how unhealthy. Because I mean, frozen yogurt is generally supposed to be healthy, right?
Yeah, that would suit you.
Yeah.
Healthy or not ranking. What else we got? Toppings. Somebody said toppings.
Price.
Toppings. And when
Additional
you
items.
think in terms of delivering information, that's the difference. When you think in terms of delivering information, don't think in terms of listing. It's boring. We're all visual artists. A picture's worth 1,000 words. So your map locators get us there. Your flavors, you might create a table to create flavors, and it might just be the colors, and each color is, the flavor, and who has a checkbox in whatever flavors, right? You know how to make tables. I know you do. You're good at tables.
Yeah,
I know you are. Cup options, what sizes? Do you make a little icon? Like, you don't need to say it's got a small, medium, and large. You might have 1 cup size and you have it sits on a scale. Or you might have a teeny cup, a baby cup, a small cup, a medium, a large, an extra large, and then 1 size that just sits on a scale, which means we just weigh it.
Yep.
Right? So think in terms of icons, creating a graphic or a visual for it, right? Healthy or not healthy, right? You can rank it by calories or sugar or what's it called?
Probiotics.
Probiotics, that's the word I was going for, thank you. Right, the bacteria ranking, like good bacteria, right?
Yeah.
And the visuals, all visuals. And if you think, if you start to think in terms of a grid and you've listed your 10 yogurt stores, you might decide each page is a different ranking, or you might put all of your rankings on one page depending on how it fits. You might have the store, some big, let's think about your layouts when you think visually. So maybe you've got your page and here's the logo of the store and here's this amazing photo of that uber beautiful yogurt you made at that store, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you have a pull-out tab here, 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 here. And you grab your finger and you slide it up and it says, over the top in sugar, right? And you pull this one out and it says 0 fat, right? You could do
How
that.
do you make pull-up tabs?
Well, we're going to learn that.
Oh, good.
It's an exercise. And same thing, so you could decide, or it could be laid out that way with your comparisons. Or you decide that you've got logo, 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 and then you've got a grid here, which might be kind of boring, of all these categories of sugar and toppings and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you think about this, think about how to visually execute this stuff, right? What other categories can we rank yogurt by?
Supplements, maybe?
Supplements. Oh, like when you go to Jamba Juice and you get a
something like that. I don't know
antioxidant
if
in
that's
it.
a thing for
Okay, so healthy, does it have a supplement? The hours it's open, when you have cravings at 2 in the morning after you finish your assignments. What's the ambiance of the place? Is it a good place for friends? So many yogurt places have no tables. It's like, we just want you to buy the stuff and leave. We don't want you to sit here, right?
Yeah.
There's some of that. Or friends or a date. Yeah. See, I went out of room here. So, ambiance. What else?
Additional items, like
Oh,
the
can we buy a
shake
pretzel?
things or pretzels,
Right.
yeah,
Other food?
ice cream, Cold Stones.
Other foods, right. Can you pair whiskey with it? What else we got?
Service?
Service. Right. Uniforms. What do they wear when they're there, when you work there, right? Clean, right?
Yeah.
You get the idea. What else is there? Yogurt. Types of yogurt, which would be coconut milk yogurt, dairy yogurt, soy yogurt. That would fall under categories. So alternative yogurt, right? Flavors, alternatives, right? Then you need to, and I want all of you to really get into this part. Get into the pictures. Decide if you're going to just photograph the storefront, or if you're going to have a little teeny storefront photo and you're going to photograph the yogurt, or if you're going to do a Kevin and you're going to do an aerial view of all those little containers with all the toppings, right?
Yeah.
And do like Kevin did with all the toppings on the burritos. So think, you got to start thinking visually, and that's why you do your thumbnails. You start to think visually like those. That help you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Lots.
Anybody got more to add to that? Okay, so now you get to get your phone and snap all those things we wrote down. How's that?
That's perfect.
Help you?
Yeah, definitely.
Did we jump start yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Who else wants jump starting?
I
Yeah.
need ideas for my thing.
You still don't have an idea?
I mean, for my movie theater thing.
Come up here, please. Okay, so we did yours. It's right here. Okay, so you want to brainstorm all that. Yeah, Jimmy has to take photos. I mean, Mike has to take photos. So you already went through your field guide of theaters.
Mhm.
We just didn't brainstorm enough for you, did we?
Yeah, I just need some help.
Okay, so let's help Jimmy. Tell everybody your idea again.
So I'm gonna do like a field guide for movie theaters of Santa Barbara, and talk about the atmosphere or the ambiance, snacks, and I don't know what type of people go there, but I don't know if it's a good idea or not.
You don't know if it's a good idea?
I don't know. I feel stuck.
Are you stuck? Is that what you said?
Mhm.
What's stuck about it?
I don't know how to divide it into categories.
You could also do the architecture, the style of the movie theater.
Mhm.
Or nearby
That's the big
restaurants
thing
that
here.
are good to go to before you go to the movie or after.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm walking over to the other side. Did you get the bottom ones or no?
No.
You did this?
Yeah.
So, theaters, this is theaters. So, is it a date, proximity, to dining, or a bar afterwards, right?
Mhm.
Or dessert after the movies.
Mhm.
Or, there's some restaurant that is closed, that is open for lunch, closed for dinner, and it opens at 11 p.m. in town here. Did you know that?
No.
Which
It's like a Thai, it was a weird restaurant. I think it was Thai food, like Thai Peruvian, for lack of a better description. Do you know what I'm talking about?
on Cannon Perdido.
What is it?
She used to be late night only.
Yes. Late night only.
Um,
Teeny weeny. Little teeny
She
tables.
makes like funky sandwiches and oh my gosh, what
What's
is
it?
it called? She's on Cannon Perdido now. She used to be out of the Thai place on State. But she's awesome.
Oh, did I get it right then? See, did I pull all the right stuff? There you go.
Yeah, you did.
Funky,
I mean,
weird sandwiches, funny little Thai
I mean,
food.
I think she has a normal dinner hour too, but she definitely does late night. And
Right.
it's just a single lady. She like started this business out of someone else's. Yeah.
Right. So, okay, so you've got a division of architecture over there. You've got what snacks do they serve in there? What are the prices?
Mhm.
Is there reserved seating? Right? We forgot that. Is it a new movies or old forget independent movies? So is it like an independent you know, like the small theater movies
Mhm.
or big box, right?
Okay.
Do they have, my boyfriend loves stadium seating. He loves to sit at those things that are a really steep thing.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter to me, I don't see the difference, but he thinks that's the end all. So type of seating
Mhm.
or reserve seating,
Yeah, that I have. I think.
how do we do? Does that make you feel better?
Yeah, it helps. It helps.
You know, I think sometimes when you guys just see it in front of you, it's easier.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else? Movies?
Throw on the drive-in theater. That's
Oh.
Is
just
there a
for
drive-in still?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fairview.
I haven't been to it,
Me either.
Good.
just as a
I've been there a couple
extra.
times.
So can you wear the bunny slippers to go to the movies?
I know friends that like bring their trucks and put a bed in the back.
Yeah.
They do it.
Wow.
Well,
It's really
you
cool.
guys, did you guys go drive-ins as a kid?
No.
I've never been to one in my whole life.
Well, okay, here's an olden day story for you, right, John? So there were regular movie theaters, but there were drive-in theaters. And the reason there are no longer drive-in theaters is because the developers have now bought that big, massive land and put a zillion stores on it, right? But we used to have a station wagon, and all my cousins and I would go in the back of the station wagon in our pajamas because we were little kids, and they'd back in so we could all lay in the back with our pillows, and we'd watch, you know, Bambi, and and they'd hook a speaker on your windows. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Did you go to drive-in?
Mhm.
Yeah, is that a kid experience I described?
Yeah.
Every
There were two here, like back in the day.
there were, yeah.
Not just one.
Yeah, it's kind of like whoever went to a drive-in before there was like Jack in the Box that you drive through. There were drive-in restaurants, like soda shops.
A&W.
A&W root beer.
Is that
They
what it
did
was?
that? Yeah.
You'd park in a place,
Oh yeah, like the Flintstones?
Like
Like
Sonic.
where they put like the
Yes.
little car window or
like the Flintstones.
Yeah.
That's exactly it, like the Flintstones.
That was
And
the year too.
you know, and is that 50s? Is that a 50s thing or something? Yeah, that was the year, the Flintstones year. But it was. They
There were
put.
some.
You'd roll down your window because there were no electric windows, and or maybe there were, and you'd hook on a tray and it would sit outside the window, and you'd get burgers and fries and stuff. Yeah. And actually,
roller skates on too.
and some of the
Yeah.
people who would serve
You
you
guys
would
have
be.
Sonics out here?
Well, it's like when you.
Yeah, 'cause that's what Sonic still does.
Yeah.
They still do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pull up.
Well, all you guys have to do is watch Back to the Future, right? And go back in time, and grab it. But did that help you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Did you get your snapshots of it?
Yes.
I think John wants all snapshots emailed to him. He does, because then he will make it as part of the lecture. Yes,
Oh.
Carol,
Well, when there's nobody, I wanted to get some feedback.
on yours. Well, we don't have to wait to nobody because you're somebody, so come do it now.
Okay.
How's that? You got to explain your concept to everybody and put it in context so they understand what you're
Alright.
talking about. You didn't make a brief yet, right?
Not a formal one. I took notes. I should have brought let me grab my notebook.
Okay.
I have kind of a problem with running around checking things out because of the wheelchair. So I decided maybe I would check out something that was geared for people in wheelchairs. And then I got to thinking about the place where I live, where there's a lot of disabled people, and many who are not. And it's called a retirement place. And it's been through a lot of incarnations, and it's now a retirement place. And there's a lot of very different people there. And I thought I would I honestly can't interview everybody there. That wouldn't make any sense. So I thought I'd pick one person up to 7 or 8 people of very different types. People who work, people who don't work, people who sleep all day, people who are men, people who are women, people, well, you can give me some more ideas of what information I could collect. And then I would do a photograph of each of them. One thing I will try to do is include people who have pets. Pets aren't really allowed there, but people have them. And the people I've noticed have very different pets. One lady has a bunny rabbit. One guy has a cat who won't let him pick it up. That one I don't know how I would photograph. Anyway, those were things that I thought of doing. Can you give me some ideas?
Okay, so did everybody follow that? Everybody follow Carol? She
Good
lives
for
in
you.
so she, because of mobility, she's not gonna be running around town. So actually, Carol, you can also create a map. I'm gonna make this on two sides of the board. So I'm writing things behind you, Carol. You might wanna turn around.
I'm doing that.
All right. So Carol lives in a retirement facility, but so now we have to look at the retirement facility in terms of how to compare things there, and she's going to compare them based on people, right? Types are different things that are available at the retirement facility. So that's her little community. So you can make a map of the retirement facility.
Okay.
All right, so you're going to make a map of the retirement facility. You can make a map locating who lives where, right? Because you're profiling people, right? Locate
Right.
people's apartments in the facility, right? Because you have different types of people.
Yeah.
And over here, if you rotate down around this way, I don't want you to miss what I put here. You're categorizing it based on types of people.
Yeah.
Whether these people have pets, yes or no, and their kind of pet, and you have lots to photograph here. What the ages are, like you'll have a chart, a range of ages where that person falls in age range. You said a lot of people are disabled. What's their disability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or mobility, maybe. And I assume everybody has mobility. Everybody has independent living, right? So they all have their own apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So does each person personalize their apartment space? It's like if you went into an apartment building you guys are living in, all your apartments are probably identical in terms of the shell of it. But when you walk in, your homes are all different.
One thing I am going to do is their doors.
Okay,
Almost everybody in that place decorates their door.
okay, so there
Some
you go.
very elaborately, some kind of
Okay.
shabbily.
Well, that's a beautiful metaphor. A door is a beautiful metaphor for the opening to each profile of each person's life, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody ranks the food at the facility because some people you can eat in common spaces or you can cook on your own. So you might want to rank the food at the facility. Come on, you guys, what else? You must know people who live in kind of community stuff. It's the same thing as living in a college dorm. Same thing, right?
Pretty close.
Right. What about the temperament of the people? Like, who do you want to run into in an elevator? Right? Isn't it the
Well-
worst when you wake up in the morning and you know there's somebody you do not want to see in the morning? Because they're just going to ruin your day? What about people's temperaments?
How
What
do
if-
you categorize temperaments?
How do you categorize it?
Yeah.
You decide.
Okay.
Maybe just put it
Are
in
they-
the
you can make it-
profile, like,
Yeah.
you know?
Or they could be sun, you could have a sun and a moon and they're either a light personality or a dark personality, right?
Okay.
They're either filled with sunshine or they're flat. They're like low tide or something. What else?
Like entertainment? Like, do they show like movies or games? Or...
Ah, that's a good one.
Oh yeah, they have movies and musical events, and I put down that I would check out who goes to what and how
Okay.
many.
Okay, great. That was a good call.
They have a swimming pool. I get people who use it and who don't.
Oh, sports, activities. You said that earlier today.
Yeah,
too.
I have a bunch of activities. They work very hard on that.
Okay.
Some of them seem pretty weird to me.
Okay.
But I'll put some of those down.
Okay, look behind you also, this way, because there's more I marked on the board behind there.
Oh,
Okay? I kept talking. As you kept talking, I kept talking. So
take some look at the chair.
that's okay. We're not in a hurry. We're good. More thoughts? Anybody more thoughts for that? So you have lots of categories to organize with that. And I would create a map out of it. You're going to have to ask them for a map diagram of the facility.
Oh, very
You
nice.
could also do gardens, right? Or people's hobbies. That would be
Oh, that's a good
activities.
idea.
So hobbies. Outdoor space. How about outdoor space? And then you decide how to rank it, and or how each person has an opinion about it.
Is there a program for mapping?
No, Illustrator's your program for mapping.
Oh.
It probably is, but you're just gonna probably scan what they have and maybe color it or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, and there's more up there. Did that help you out?
Yes, it helped a lot.
Okay,
Thank you
John, do
very
you want to
much.
photo that before?
Sure.
Okay. Who else? Okay, come on up. There we go. There we go. Okay.
Alright, so my field guide is gonna be about palm trees in Santa Barbara.
Palm trees
Palm trees, just
in
Kind-
Santa Barbara.
yeah, kinds of palm trees.
Okay.
So I started just walking down the street where I live, basically, taking some pictures and then looking up what I found, which is a lot. And it's kind of hard to just look at the pictures and then try to identify, because some of them look very similar. So I just started Googling and finding information, trying to come up with categories like the scientific name, origin, how much sun they need, how fast they grow, the size of them, and how long they live. I'm not sure if I will use just these ones, but that's what was easiest to find. And why I chose palm trees is because I really love palm trees, so I feel like this is something that I will be inspired to do. I already feel that when I walk around, I like, oh, that's a king palm, and it's cool to know something about it. I chose between palm trees and breakfast places because those two there's a bunch of them in Santa Barbara, and I love them both. But palm trees I thought could be more fun. And here are some color themes. I want to go with like the colors of palm trees, basically like natural colors and lots of green, and then also to create some contrast, maybe like red or pink. And here I have my fonts. I can't really decide what kind of feeling I want for the field guide. If I want it to be like a very simple or lots of colors and a bunch of like pictures and illustrations. I haven't decided really. Here I have the
Are
pictures.
those all your snapshots, are they?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm gonna take better pictures, but this is just what I like. Just a 5-minute walk. I found these palm
Right.
trees, so
They're everywhere.
yeah. What will be hard is to do the map, I think, because they're everywhere. So
They're
it's
everywhere.
hard to just
Well,
pick one
maybe-
spot where
Maybe
they
pick
are.
palm trees that are a certain height
Mm-hmm.
to map, like the 10 oldest palm trees in Santa Barbara,
Yeah.
based on their height or something. I won't tell you there's a palm tree farm in Carpinteria, or south of Carpinteria, that is on both sides of Highway 1,
Okay.
which you could get lost in.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably interview them. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And that, you don't have a car,
No.
but I bet somebody in here does,
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I could do that.
right? Who wants to go palm tree shopping? And you decide if you're going to do it through photography or draw them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do both. I want, I created some thumbnails, and I think I want like this, all the categories for the specific like.
Why don't you show us your thumbnails? The thumbnails is right down in the dock on the bottom right. See that little folder? If you roll over on the far right,
This one? Or,
I can't see the dock, so
oh, you mean
down below, you'll see there's
where are you?
maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, let's. That. What does that say? Yeah. There you are. Now you can show us your thumbnails. So actually, so Annie's the first person to show us her thumbnails. I haven't seen them yet. So the requirements for thumbnails, help me Annie or anybody, was you have to have 3 sets of thumbnails. Is that right? And they had to be 3 images in each set. And one of the images had to be your cover design, like your opening page. And the other 2 images had to be thumbnails of subsequent pages of how they might look. Did I do that right?
I'm not sure because I don't know if I did it right.
Yeah,
so
I'm confused on the instructions.
yeah.
Okay, let's go by this right now. I think the instructions say, guess we could pull them up if we really want to be accurate. Let me do that just
It's
so.
3 sets with
3 images. Okay.
I thought so when I wrote this was I thought it was 3 cover designs and 3 inside designs.
Let's read it. So, we're going to have horizontal iPads, not tall, wide. Thumbnails should be neat. Do them in pencil or whatever you want. I don't really care what you do them in. But make sure they're scannable, dark enough to scan. And work proportionately. Don't create a set of thumbnails that aren't proportionate to the iPad screen. You need 3 sets of thumbnails is how I perceive this. So I'm the teacher. You might as well perceive it how I do. I want you to have 3 screens. So like Mike said, 3 sets of thumbnails. So 3 different concepts of grid layouts. Each will have its own unique cover design. And then there will be 2 subsequent pages following that cover design of a possible grid layout for your ideas.
How many thumbnails each?
That would be
category?
9 total.
Okay.
9, there's 3, 3, and 3. What's that?
I did it wrong.
What'd you do? You did 1 set of 3.
Yeah, I was confused. I thought I was just confused on the instructions.
It's okay, you just have 2 more to do.
Yeah, 3 more.
Okay,
But that's fine.
yeah, exactly. You're gonna get more and more ideas. Okay, so let's look at thumbnail examples too while we're covering all this. Okay, so personally, I'm such a planner when I get into a role of brainstorming that, you know, it's like, okay, if you're trying to meet the criteria, okay, that'll meet your criteria. But for me, think about what your layout is and what all your categories are. So here's a set of thumbnails for one sample. So the cover would be probably this far right one, right? And then all the pages, you show different grid layouts. I'm going to give this back to you in a second. Here's a second set. The cover doesn't look very different, does it? Just a different color palette. Same thing with the layout. And then similar cover. And cover's the lead-in. It's the draw. And it could be totally different than it's like a cover on a book and then what the contents of the book is. And there needs to be some order to your layout, just like in your menu. Any publication, you need a sense of order. Stick to a grid layout, it will help you. You can have a variety of master pages, so like maybe 4 different layouts in your iPad, and you can decide how you handle it. So just start thinking through what you would add as the content. Oh, actually, so here was one set of thumbnails, actually, is what it was. Here's a second way of looking at it, different set of thumbnails. Right? It's just organizing. It's the same as your menus. Some of these are menu thumbnails. Yeah.
Do you want us using color in our thumbnails?
I don't care. I want you to brainstorm. I want you to think how it works for you. You know, I can't emphasize enough. I mean, what I noticed for all of you is you all delivered. You all, when it came to the menu, you all delivered. You guys are amazing. And some of you got there at a different rhythm, and some of you think a little differently. But the process of the research, the thumbnails, the refining, the rethinking, it's all the process to get there. That's what I'm looking for. And if you want to make sure you get that big check that says, yes, you got 100% on this, meet the criteria, okay? And look like you actually cared about it. That's okay. I mean, you guys know what that looks like. I don't need to explain that to you guys. Okay, let me get us back out of here. So let's go to your thumbnails and let's see if you cared, right? So go ahead and explain to us.
Alright, so I set it up a little differently then, because I just started with the start page, and I think I did 3 examples. Yeah, kind of.
So that would be like your first table of contents page talking about the different trees.
Yeah.
Like the top one is your cover.
Yeah, I'm not sure really how I want to feel like the first.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause I kind of like this idea of having just all the pictures of the different palm trees, and when you like hover over it, like the color, because it's first supposed to be like lower transparency, and then when you hover over it, it becomes like 100% color. So you can click on it, and then you get to the page where all the information is. But I don't know. These ones are more. I guess this is just like cover. Doesn't really do anything. This one is kind of the same as this.
And do you know how to execute that from experience? The hover and change it to color?
I don't know, but I know someone that can help me with it.
Okay, well, you'll bring them to class. Yeah, it might have to be that each of those images become a button,
Mm-hmm.
and that the button changes, reveals something when you click on it,
Yeah.
which would be a secondary color.
Yeah.
So,
So this one, I don't know. This would probably work best if I have a cover photo first and then go to welcome page, click on all those little links over here. Here's some inside examples.
okay, so let's go back a second, because you've done a lot of stuff here. We haven't. One of the things I want to bring up is we're not going to do it today, but next week I'll start to introduce to you some exercises in interactivity, so you kind of get the concept of how to do some things, right? Like the things we looked at on the iPad. And there's some Linda videos to walk you through it, to walk you through some of the exercises. You're going to have to do a lot of Googling too, to be honest, because you're going to come up with a concept, and none of us are going to be sure how to get there, and we'll have to figure it out, right? But what I want to point out here is a few things. Scroll to the top if you don't mind. Let's just take this apart for a second. All right. Yeah, go all the way. Okay, so this cover page might be as simple as nothing. It might be, here's your cover, and you swipe and you go to your next page, okay? Start thinking in terms of it being a moving design. Now you have a totally different layout here. What you've done is you've created a margin for your iPad, and then you've got 6 palm trees you're focused on, let's say, right? And I assume that means that you click on one and it takes you to information. Mm-hmm. And what you're going to start to do is create another, besides thumbnails, you're going to need a flow map. You're going to do this again, trust me. I don't even remember if there's an assignment for it, but you will. You're going to end up creating like an outline, for lack of a better description. So you click on the Sago Palm. What goes next? What's your next scroll down? Okay, let's scroll past that. So you click on the Sago Palm, stay right here. And maybe after you clicked on one of those palm trees, it took you to this page, which is not your welcome page, but it says Sago Palm, right? And here's a picture of the Sago Palm, and here now is ways to navigate to all the other palm trees. Because we don't want to go back to that home page of click on the palm tree, right? So here's other palm, other palm, other palm. And here you might have a description, and here you might have a pull-out for the temperature it grows best in, here's how tall they grow, here's whatever facts and so forth. Or there might be icon buttons down here, which is a button you press that takes you to a page that has a chart of the shortest palm tree to the tallest based on their potential height. You follow that? And then you have a button here which might take you to the climate of that each of these grows best in, from the shortest to the tallest, based on the heat of the day or the heat of median ambient temperature. How's that for scientific? And then there's another button you press on that says, do they grow coconuts or not? Right? Or you follow it, so you got to start thinking, and if that's the case, if this were a page profiling the palm tree, this might just be a box here that's scrolling through all the photos of the palm tree. I don't know. Or, but then this page would set your grid format for predictability for when you have a descriptor page of the palm tree. They all look like this: sago palm, date palm, and all the palm trees still are always ranked in the same sequence. Does everybody follow what I'm describing? Okay. So that's what you're starting to tinker with. I understand you're not there yet. Don't worry about it. That's what you're starting to tinker with. And so these would become essentially buttons to carry you to another page. And there might be buttons down here or icons to carry you to another page. But once you've created it, you create this format, if she chose this, on a master page. So nothing bounces around. Everything's in identical placement. Everybody understands that too, correct? Okay. And then this one, if this were, let's say, your home page, your start page, it probably wouldn't be your cover. But let's say it's the table of contents. See, there's one of the requirements is there's a table of contents page for these. This I would qualify as a table of contents page. Like, oh, look what you're getting into. And what you said is, press that, instead of being black and white, it goes to color. I'm making this up. Well, that would basically be a button. You press the button, it turns to color when you roll over it, and if you click on it, it jumps you to this page, right? So this is the kind of thing you're going to start to think through as you start to develop your layouts, okay? All right, keep rolling on that. Did you have questions, Jimmy?
I was just wondering if you stay on the vertical lines, could you turn all those into like pull tabs, so like if you swipe them, you open up, they become a.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Because I think that would be a cool idea.
Yeah, like that. Where if they're buttons, like when you press them, it just kind of pops up and blurs it back.
Well, I think the answer to that is yes, but I don't know that they'd be a pull tab. They might just be, basically, if you touch it, it might just be jumping to a different page, and that page appears like you described, but it's really a different page.
Okay, so but it would come out like that.
Oh,
Sideways.
I don't know.
Okay.
The answer is I don't know. I do not know a lot of stuff. Okay, but we could try it. We can test things.
Yeah, that would be a cool idea.
Did you just explain how to do the pull tabs?
No, I
Okay.
mostly said I didn't know. That's mostly all I said. I do know how to do pull tabs, and we'll practice it together, but I don't know if it'll behave the way Jimmy wants it to behave, is what it is. They do know how to do them. They're actually very simple. The pull tabs are basically, just so it demystifies it, pull tab is basically you've got a graphic that you want to stick out to here, and you have to do some function to tell it to become a pull tab. And you pull it back as far as you want it, and then designate as pull tab. I mean, none of this stuff is hard. It's just getting it to behave page to page the way you want it, and knowing how you want it to perform. So I don't know the answer to pull tab. I think we tested pull tabs overlapping other pull tabs, and the answer is yes, they can. The problem with them is they don't bounce back. It's not like those tape measures when you press the button, they all zip back in. They don't do that. You got to pull them out and put them back, and it might get messy. And you stack things on top, and that might get messy. And you can also put buttons on a pull tab, and you can also put videos in a pull tab. So, but, you know, we're limited by our imagination and what we don't get too frustrated doing, right?
Alright. So just different ideas of how I want the inside to look. This is more simple and this is more color. And I have even more color if this is like a background picture and then a picture in the picture, and another really simple one. So I just haven't come up really with my concept of simple or just over the top. And I just created a map, which I don't really know yet how I'm gonna do, but maybe if I see a certain place where there's a lot of the same palm tree kind,
Yeah.
then I can just have it like that.
Yeah, and it might be palm trees in a 1 block radius or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or palm trees at the Santa Barbara Four Seasons Biltmore, which has every palm tree probably you could possibly name in the most beautiful garden.
Where is that?
Montecito.
Yeah,
It's right on the beach.
Insane.
Butterfly Beach.
Oh, okay.
It's gorgeous. There's also an estate. Anybody know what that estate is? Who lives here? It's some garden. Bunch of trees and
yeah.
cactus. Like
Lotus Land?
Lotus Land. Yeah, I don't know if they have palm trees there, but you know you could.
I'm pretty sure they do. You just have to make an appointment.
Yeah.
I was gonna
you have to
use
sign up to be able to go.
Okay.
And it's kind of back in
Yeah.
Montecito a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it depends on how ambitious. You know, wandering around the Biltmore is free. It's gorgeous, and you know, maybe that makes it easier for you.
Yeah.
They will have a site map of the hotel.
Yeah.
You could tell the hotel you're doing it for a project, and would they like what you do? Maybe they'll use it. You know, and you know, something like that. When you guys make your decisions, there's an elitism by choosing that. For example, where I did it for the Biltmore or something like that. I mean, I don't know. It's one location that's a big site that has probably every palm tree
Okay.
naming.
So you mean that I could make a map out of just that place?
That hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they would already have a map for you.
Okay.
And then you could identify all the palm tree species
Yeah.
on their site. And it just might relax you to
Yeah.
have a location. And it's so gorgeous, it would yield gorgeous photography.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. Find someone
Anybody
with a
else have
car.
a different idea for palm trees? Yeah. The
I'm
zoo?
assuming you're gonna have like other images of them, like close-ups of the leaves and
Yeah.
the trunk and
Yeah, I'm planning to do like slideshows of every, like these ones. That's why I kind of made the arrows, because you
Oh,
can
okay,
just
yeah.
swipe through different pictures of the same palm tree, different angles and close up and far away. So, yeah, it was just a map thing that I was mostly worried about, but.
Yeah, how to locate them around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know Santa Barbara that well. Who else knows Santa Barbara to suggest palm tree places?
I know Santa Barbara well, but I think you chose Biltmore is a good place.
Yeah.
And Lotus Land is good, but I think they specialize in other things.
Yeah.
the uncommon.
It's a really neat place.
The
I don't
rare
really.
stuff.
I think it's probably really in bloom right now too. You might have to pay. It's members
Okay.
only type of place.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you have to sign up online. And
Yeah.
then they have to meet you at the gate and let you in. They're
Oh, okay.
specific.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Biltmore is pretty.
Yeah.
Butterfly Beach is right there.
And they
Mm-hmm.
have whiskey.
Isn't there a
I think I got all my
park
places.
down by the beach?
You should.
We've
What was
already
that?
started.
One of the
Still
parks down by the beach is called
What?
Palm
You can
Tree
still
Park.
audition other
Oh.
places though.
Does anybody else know that? Carol says there's a palm tree park at the beach.
Chase Palm Park.
Chase Palm Park.
Something, yeah.
There you go.
It's where all the whales are. The concrete whales. It's right across from West Beach. East Beach. Chase Palm Park. Right on Cabrillo.
Well, you can just look on a map for it.
Yeah.
So isn't it just like walking down a path then?
It's just right on Cabrillo across from the.
Oh, it's that pretty little garden. across the street from the beach?
It's got a lot of like, it's a big kid playground,
Yes.
but it has it has a pond.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Go
Very
there during
pretty
the day.
too. That's pretty too.
Yeah, I'll have to decide where to go.
They
I'll
don't
probably
have
go
room
to different
service there, though.
places. They don't have what?
Room service.
Oh. All right.
Well, this is great. You're off to a great start. Where you go from here, I think you've got your categories, and I think as you pick your site, you're going to decide how to evaluate it.
Mhm.
You know, like Jimmy was mentioning, or John was mentioning, close up. Like, what's the trunk like? What's
Yeah.
the texture of the leaves? How many fronds
Mhm.
are there? What happens when they flower? Palm trees are gorgeous when they flower.
Are they date palms or coconut palms?
Right.
Mhm.
What fruit do they bear?
Yeah.
Good ideas. Good ideas.
One question I have about that is, should I have that as just kind of icons that you click on, or is it more like a flowing text, like about the palm tree, or just have
I
these little
personally
small?
think that a field guide is not about reading a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that what makes a field guide successful is really amazing photography that is rich,
Mm.
you know, filled with, I don't want to say filled with color because I don't, you know, black and white could be equally amazing, but beautiful photography, cropped and handled well.
Yeah.
And, or quirky photography. You know what I mean? Silly is equally as fun, but pick your brand, pick your
Mhm.
style, and if you could visually depict texture or fruit, or if you could visually depict it some way, I think it's much better
Yeah.
than stating it. Show,
Yeah.
you know, with everything, show don't tell, show
Mhm.
don't tell. So if you could show it somehow visually, I think
Yeah.
it makes it more successful.
What's the exact point of the design guide?
A field guide.
A field guide.
The point of a field guide is to create comparisons of one category. It started with bird field guides. So people would have a little pocket guide to go with their binoculars and go look at birds out wherever they were hiking. And you could go spot the bird, look it up, and cross-reference it based on its size or its color or the season or the location. You would have all these different ways to cross-reference it. So the point of a field guide is to create common ground between your common category and differences. Show commonalities and differences.
What would I be trying to show, for example?
Well, let's finish
I'm sorry.
here with
I'm
Annie.
sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think I'm done.
Are you done? Yeah. Well, you've thought it through. Where you would go from this after your thumbnails is start playing around with things. Start gathering information. We have one more week before we hit spring break, and next week you'll come back. We'll continue to look at your thumbnails as you developed it. If you're stuck in a corner, we're going to pull you out of your corner, and we're going to help brainstorm and continue to. And then we're going to demo some interactive techniques next week so you can kind of get a feel for this, because we're in week 9. Week 9. Our last week is 16. I know it goes really fast, I think, right? Is that true? So I want you guys to feel capable, okay? Yeah.
So are we on track to where our computer roughs are due next class?
Yeah, you know, yes, next, what Annie's showing us here, the roughs, or you uploaded roughs already.
I did, yeah,
But
but
redo 'em.
I'm gonna refine them.
Yeah, if you get the idea, I want you to refine and refine and refine and think through and think through. Because you're not going to hit the nail on the head right away. I don't expect anybody to. And once you start to get cornered with interactivity, you might say, oh, that was a really good idea, but, right?
Mhm.
Or once you do interactivity, you're going to be like, oh my God, that's my favorite thing to create in the world. I want to do every page like that. Do know you're going to have video in this. You're going to decide whether you have music in it. You do have to have sound in it. That'll be part of it also. multi-state objects. There's criteria. Don't go away. Well, actually, what you did is fantastic. So thank you. There's criteria for how this gets graded. So let's get down to specifics here. Just like your menus, I found that all of you did great. You all did great. But let's just look at how these get evaluated. And it's complicated how you upload the thing too. So I did say that we're going to use the last half hour on packaging. Was there anybody who wanted to get to show their research or their refs right now? You guys speak up. You want to?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Then let me show the grading. We'll do yours, and then we'll do that packaging thing we were all talking about. Oh, we want the rubric. That's what we want. Right here. iPad rubric. iPad rubric. Here's how you get graded. Your images. So again, you're creating a brand. Do your images reflect the personality of the field guide, right? So Annie could make hers Tropical Paradise, or she could make hers very scientific, like she's a botanist, right? You could pick your brand. But you want to, you want to delight us. Whether it's humorous or serious or whatever it is, you want to delight us. You need to master type, just the way you master type in all the menus. Paragraph style sheets, master pages, so when your page layouts don't bounce around. You need to organize your content so it's readily understandable. You want to create a cover that makes us say, oh my God, I never thought about that. I can't wait to see what that's about, right? You want to draw us in. Spell check. A lot of us are not good at that. You want to have a compelling cover design. You want to organize this so when you move to the next page, like if you have credits, if you've used photography or if you've used sources or something, or if you have hyperlinks to send people to for where you got information, that would be credits. I don't need a table of contents like on page 1, it's this. I consider the table of contents ways to organize what we're going to see. That's how I see table of contents. So it's very understandable what is in the publication. Like if you have, let's take the palm trees. Annie said she's going to measure them based on the height. You said you're going to measure them based on the temperature they grow in, the number of years they survive, the roughness of the trunk, whether they have fruit. That would be your criteria for measurement and what we're going to look through, maps of where they're located, and so forth, scientific names. That's the kind of thing a table of contents would tell us. It's not that you have to organize it that way, but just so we know what we're going to see inside. Okay? It says 10 screens. You guys are going to have a lot more than 10 screens for sure. You're just going to end up with more than that. The things that I do count, definitely, in terms of interactivity, because the publication stuff, you're all going to get your arms around. But you're going to need to have a multi-state object, which we'll start practicing, flipping through those images. You're going to have a pan and zoom, where you spread it out with your fingers, right? Move it around a photo. You all know what that means, right? Hyperlink to a web page, you know what that means. Image slideshow. That could be a multi-state object or an automatically rotating slideshow that just plays. Okay. Pull tabs, you saw that demoed. Audio, music, or background sound that we can turn on and off because you don't want somebody to be stuck with it. You will have a video. You can shoot your own video. You can find a video. What's appropriate. You might find that there is a video for a professional video taken of the Biltmore grounds, if you did that, for example. Or you might find that there is some snobby video of some guy pontificating about whiskey. and the nuances of it. Or you might, some whiskey manufacturer, or you might have a video from Comic-Con, right? I mean, who knows? The idea is engage us. I mean, every time I looked at the videos that students put in their pieces, I was like excited by them. I found them, it made me want to learn more. And that's really what you want people to feel. Just like a really good book, you want people to get real excited by it. And that's how you get ranked for this. Yeah.
So I know there's a limit on, or a minimum on screens, but is there a minimum on how many things you can pair?
How many things? No.
Okay.
Not really. I mean, the truth is you're going to want to, it's not like you have to have 12 things to compare and no. Yeah. You want it to be comprehensive, but you don't want to make it boring too.
Right.
Right? So it's a balance.
Okay.
And you want it to be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point of this in my perception is I want you to reinforce your skills with publication design, continuity, layout, branding, color palette, understanding, organization of content. It's a big project. Then I want you to understand how to brand it well so you communicate effectively with that content. And then interactivity, how to make something fun and engage people and surprise them and draw them in, right? And it doesn't matter what your subject matter, because each of us is picking something we're passionate about, so that passion should pour out of it. We should feel the excitement about it. That's what I think, right?
So I still don't understand what anybody could get from what I'm doing.
Well, from what you're doing, you have a unique situation. You're going to end up comparing. Basically, one of the things you and I talked about is we talked about comparing facilities, but you're not comparing facilities. So I personally think that what you might do is compare apartments and personalities of apartments. And so you've got a place that has a map. Every room is the same, but who's inside that room is unique. So like each palm tree is unique, each room is unique. The person who inhabits it, their quirks, their special needs, the things they value about the common place they all live. You said each door is different and they decorate it differently. That's a key to their personality. Each person inhabits an identical space, but they personalized it. And how did they make it different?
That's
So
great.
that's the way I would hook onto yours.
I'll write that down.
You can write it down, and you can go to johnlemon.info and get today's video and hear it.
Yes.
Okay.
I learned that.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. So, Jake, come on up.
Can we just go over packaging?
Oh, okay. You'd rather do
Yeah,
that?
I'm down. After seeing everyone else, I kind of a better idea of.
Okay. All right. Then we're going to head right now to packaging really quickly. And we're going to hit really quickly with master pages. I got 24 minutes to do it. It's not everything on the planet, but let's just do this. You have a new idea now?
No, I have a better idea of how I should categorize things.
Oh, did that help you?
More detailed. Yeah, after
Yeah,
seeing everyone else.
that's why we keep repeating this stuff, because we all need ideas. Okay, so here I am in InDesign. And the first thing I want to do is this. I want to change to Digital Publishing Workspace. Okay? Then, because I'm so easily confused, I always have to change my toolbox to be 2 columns because I'll never find anything. And then, Mike, and then, this is for you. In the toolbox, when you create a document, if you start off with a black stroke here and a none fill, it means anytime you draw a box, if I created a new document now, every box I drew would default to that. So don't do it. So none, none. Okay? The other thing you said today, which is why I called attention to you, is you said every time I do a document, I change it to inches and it always goes back. The only time you can change something to inches is before you open a document, and that will make it your default. If you change it when the document is open, It will only apply to that document, but it won't apply to any other document afterwards. So I can go to units and increments right now, change this to inches. And that should stick, that should hold. And so now, when I create a new document here in InDesign, I'm going to create it for the iPad. So the intention is not print, the intention is digital publishing. And as digital publishing, I can decide whether I want a primary text frame or not, and I'm going to turn that off because I don't want to have that pop up on all my pages, because that might be automatic flow is what that's after. You know what I mean? If you add more text and it flows page to page, if you have an automatic text frame, it will flow page to page as you load your content. Does that make sense? All right. And here's my iPad, and I want it wide, not tall. And my default for this right here is it defaults into pixels here. So let me go back and see if I can change that. I'm not sure. It should be. So I still prefer working in inches, and it's letting me. I don't know why it defaulted into pixels.
I think because the iPad measurement is in pixels.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm just stuck here with that. The only other thing I can tell you is,
Type it in inches, can't you?
well, I was just going to say that. Yes, you're absolutely 100% right. You are 100% right. So what Chelsea just said is we're going to go to the digital publishing. We want it wide, not tall. We're turning off, for me, I'm turning off the text frame. And I could type right now a 1/2 inch margin, which would be huge on this, and that's the default. Did you see how a 1/2 inch, it's still defaulted to pixels. Oh, I know why. Because I did 0.5 and inches, right. There we go. 36 pixels, okay? You don't need a bleed, ever. There's not going to be a bleed, right? And I'll leave the default for the moment because I don't know what I want. I could set up my columns here, which will become the default. We already know that 36 pixels is a 1/2 inch. You probably don't want 1/2 inch gutters, but you probably, yes, John?
One thing to note at this point, we all know that the iPad has what, at least 360 PPI?
360 PPI?
At least, I don't know, that's probably more.
We're going to have to Google it.
Well, but the point is, if 36 pixels is 1/2 inch, that wouldn't match up with the Retina display of the iPad. So these are what are called reference pixels.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
And there's a difference between the actual pixels like you get in Photoshop and reference pixels, which is what CSS looks at in terms of the appearance of the graphic element.
John understands CSS far more than I do. John's a web guy. I'm a print girl. It's a different language to me. But it is why I spent so much time testing things. And let's just leave it at the default, and let's make this a 1/4 inch, which would be 18 pixels, and see what we end up with right now when I say OK. Slowly thinking about it. So that's what we get. Master pages, you can't see this because our screen's cutting it off, but here's our page panel. Let me just tear it off. You know, let me go to a master page and just start to lay out maybe something that Annie did, right? Okay. Annie had a layout that, I'm going to really cut off my nose right now. I can feel it coming. Meaning, I wasn't prepared for this lecture and I might go into dark territory that I'm not prepared for. But let's take our first column and let's just name our, let me do this differently. I don't want to spend a lot of time with design. So here's our palm tree, and here's our date palm, and here's our sago palm, And here's our royal palm. And you had a king palm, didn't you? Got anything else for me?
Queen.
Of course. Why would I ask? Okay, that's good enough. I don't want to take up all your time. And so here we go. And then you could take these, and these might, for example, become buttons. So I take all these, let's say, and they don't need to sit at the margins, actually, now that I think about it. They could maybe go out to here, and they can go up to here, to the bleeds, I don't know. And I can go to object, let me ungroup them again. Go to object text frame options, and I can center them vertically in their text boxes. Let me preview that. And say okay, and I can center the text using, I don't really like it centered like that. Let's hit undo. Let's go back. Dawn says, no, it's ugly. Let me break my link, and let me give myself a ½ inch here. We already know 36 pixels is a ½ inch, and there we go. And then we can take each of our boxes and pretend that I carefully colored each one a different color. There. There. All right? And each one was a different color. There you go. And then I could also go to Window, and I can go to Object Layout Align, and I can distribute spacing. So I have to hide options, you have to show options, and I could distribute spacing. So watch them equally space. There, right? That's my favorite. Anyway, then the other part is, you know what? If I fail, you guys won't make fun of me, will you? So let's just do this. Let's leave that blue. Let's make that yellow. Let's make that red and pink and green, right? All right. And I don't know what I'm doing, okay? Just in case you all wonder. I was making those like multi-state objects to scroll through whatever, like that t-shirt exercise we're going to do. And so let's say these might be buttons, and let's say these might be, I haven't done multi-state objects for over quite a few months. So now what Jake asked, I'm going to stay there, Jake, is packaging. So I'm going to make this graphic box, hit Command D, which is File, Place, Command D, and I'm going to place one of our animals we took today, right? Here's our whale, and I'm going to go to Object, Fitting, Fill, Frame Proportionately. Always use the word proportionate if it's available. Now I'm going to copy this, Command C. I'm going to go to Edit, Paste, and Place directly on top. I'm going to go to File, Place with it active, and I'm going to go place the lambs and the rams. Okay. And then I'm going to go Edit, Paste, and Place. I have, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go to Edit, Paste, in Place. There's my whale. Command D, put the loris, the slow loris, so cute. And go to Edit, Paste, and Place. There we go. And now I'm going to put the, what's this called? Hedgehog, our little hedgehog. Is he just so cute? John, wait, did you see us pulling all these down earlier, John? No? We were having a good time before you got here. There, and our
I
puppies.
think I'm confused about the paste in place.
Well, I'll tell you why I did this. I mostly was, there. What I wanted to do was I wanted to take all these images and put them directly on top of each other because I was ultimately going to make a multi-state object.
But you want the whale on top?
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
And I did paste in place because I want them all stacked identically on top of each other in exactly the same location without wiggling around. Okay? I mean, what I can do right now is I can take all these images, and I can make them all flush left, and I can make them all centered, and I can make them all centered horizontally, and I can move them, and it's all going to accomplish the same thing, I think, right? And what I started thinking that I was going to do is link them to trees, but I'm not ready to do that, and we've got 12 minutes. Mostly I wanted to package. So before I fail at packaging, I'm going to do packaging successfully, and then I'm going to show you multi-staged object if I remember, because I got to practice for next week. But so I've got all these images of the puppy and the humpback whale and so forth, right? Everybody saw that? Yeah, John?
I'm pretty sure we have videos of that.
I know, but I'm supposed to be good at this.
No, I'm talking about for reference for next week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too, but I'm supposed to teach it.
You can watch yourself experiment.
I'm just going to put myself on video for you guys. All right, so you all know that there's all these pictures here. So now I've got type, which was Minion Pro, colors, which are irrelevant because I didn't make a color palette out of it, and like 5 photographs, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to save my document. I should have done that before. I'm going to save it as photo test and put it on the desktop, and now I have a document. Now, one of the things Carol asked me earlier is where do my links go? When I have photos in a document here, when I have photos in a document, they will be in the links panel. How you find the links panel is you go to Window, Links, okay? And the links panel is right here. You can tear it off. You can make it super wide. You can see what's going on here. I don't have any red stop signs, which means everything is properly linked. I don't have any yellow warning signs, which means everything is up to date, okay? So how I keep all my stuff together, for example, if you were going to work on it on campus, then package it, and then take that package and work on it at home on a different computer, you want to always package and make sure your links are current. You want no warning for it, no stop, you did something wrong, and you'll see what I mean. So everything's linked and everything's happy. So I've saved my document. Packaging is easy. You go to File, Package. And then what it does is it says, these are the fonts you used. It tells me my warning here. My only warning is my images are RGB. RGB is dead on target and perfect for what we're doing. Digital, no problem. Okay? Spot colors would be a worry. They'll turn out weird. So you're going to have to convert them to RGB.
So that doesn't have to be embedded in the project anywhere. You can just slide it on top.
This window shows up. Everything's placed, not pasted into. Everything is placed in InDesign. And so all my images are placed, and they're linked to where they were. So if I go to my links panel right now, Window, Links, it says, oh, look, you have 5 images. They're linked to wherever they were sitting before. And so now I'm going to package it to put it in one folder, one location. Nothing is embedded. It's linked. And now I go to File, Package. I get a window that says, hey, look at this. It's a yellow. What does that mean? It means everything's linked. Nothing's modified. Nothing's missing. But everything's in RGB color. And then you say, oh, that's good. That's what I want. And you click the word Package. And then it says Instructions. And that's if I were to send it to a print shop and I wanted to send them information, a text file telling them what to do. I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to hit Continue. Then I'm going to get something that says, what do you want to copy into your folder? And with Creative Cloud, interestingly, it will copy your fonts, which I want. It's going to copy my linked graphics, which I want. It's going to update my graphic links to that package so it knows where to find them. It's going to create an IDML file, which is for an old version of InDesign. If you wanted to give it to a friend who had InDesign 6, you give them an IDML file, which is going in the package. And then if you want a proof of this, it's automatically generating a PDF based on what I did last time, which is high quality print.
Be careful if you're doing this interactive. It's easy when you're packaging it to have the PDF default print.
Yes,
And then that can mess you up if you use that PDF if it's interactive.
yes. But we'll get to that much later. But yes, you're absolutely correct.
And then do you hit the package in the corner?
And then you hit that package in the corner. Yes. And then it says, please don't sell the fonts. We're going to hunt you down. And you say, okay. And that's it. That's all there is to it. It will have packaged everything. Oh, and it says there's overset. All these color boxes at the bottom when I squish my type, that's my overset. Don't ever package with overset. Okay? And then it packages all my images. And what's going to happen is when I look on the desktop to my package and I close this, we're going to see a folder here, right here. It was called my test folder. Close those. And in my package folder, I have my native document, the PDF proof for print, and a version that, an IDML file, which is, it's called InDesign markup.
Markup language.
Okay, markup language. And it has all those 5 photos. The 5 photos still remain on my desktop. It just duplicated them and put them in my links folder, and it added my fonts. Now, if I wanted to add this to the cloud so I could send it home for myself, so I could grab it off of like Dropbox or something, all I have to do is highlight this folder in Finder with it active, go to compress it, and it's going to make a zipped, one single file of everything in that folder, zipped, okay? And now I could email that to myself, which might be too huge, send it to Dropbox, put it on a flash drive, okay? Everybody gets that. All right. Now, what I was going to try to do, I have 5 minutes to make a fool of myself if you guys are kind enough, if you want. Multi-state object is pretty simple. Multi-state object is basically, let's just say back, and let's say forward. We'll just do forward. There, forward. And we'll delete those. Okay, so this might be a back button going back in that direction for scrolling through something, and this is a forward button here. So I'm going to show you one way to do multi-state. We're going to do it differently next week. I hope I remember. So I'm going to take my forward button so I can scroll forward through my photos and turn it to a button in the buttons panel. And I'm going to call this my next button, my forward button. I like naming everything, but it's not letting me yet. Oh, here it is. I'm going to call this forward, and I name things perfectly, multi-state, okay? And the action, I'm not going to set up yet, and I'll show you why. And I'm going to take my back button, make it a button, click on action. I'm sorry, not on action. Click on a new button at the bottom. And I'm going to call this back multi-state. I haven't done this in so long. I hope I'm right. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all 5 of those photos that are stacked. Everybody knows they're all stacked on top of each other. And I am going to go to Object States right here. I'm in the Digital Publishing panel. I go to Object States. And with all 5 of these photos stacked on top of each other, I'm going to turn them into what's called an object state. And I can do that by converting my selection to a multi-state object. And I just click, and they get that little dotted border. Okay? So now I have a multi-state object. Chelsea asked me, did I want the whale on top? I could put the whale and move them to the top. Did you see how I slid it? Like moving layers? Okay, so these are a state, everything here. I have little icon pictures. And now, if I click on the For button and I go to my button panel, my button's not doing anything, it's just a button. So I have to give my button an action. What do I want my button to do? I click on it, and I want my button to go to the next state. Next, next, next. Okay, next state. That's it. That's all I want it to do. I go to my back button. What do I want it to do? I give it an action. I want it to go to my previous state. I hope to God I'm right on this. Okay? I'm going to save my document, Command S. At the bottom of almost every panel, there's a preview right here. And it's an interactive publication preview. Okay, I hear ya. And I only have one page in this document, so I don't have to pay attention to preview all pages here or preview my one page. And if I click on preview, it's going to show me whether I successfully did the interactivity. Let's see if I did. So you'll be nice. I'm going to hit play to load everything. So, okay. Oh, did I do this on the master page and that's why it keeps telling me to do this? I probably did. It's okay. That's not my pages. Where's my page panels? I bet I did. That's why it's warning me. I did. Okay, so that's easy enough to fix. Watch what happens. Let me yank this. Okay, did that. Okay. Oh, I know. You know, it doesn't even matter. I could have left it on my master page, but I'll just move it now. So it's on my page one. You can set this up on a master page, and I'll prove that in a second, but let's just do this now. Okay, so close that up. Let me preview it. Now it won't tell me that anymore. Now I'm going to load it, and now I'm going to practice it. And what should happen is, if I hit the 4 button, it should scroll through all my little animals. If I hit the back button, it should scroll through backwards. That's a multi-state object. Okay? It's really not hard, right? It's kind of cute, fun. All right. So, and just to prove that thing about the master pages, you want master pages when you do stuff. So let me cut this off and let me show you what happens with a master page. And we have 1 minute left, and then we'll wrap it up. I can paste everything on my master page. What they were telling me is I can't test it from the master page. So if I go to my preview here, I should be able to do this. Yes, it should be. Let me go here. Let me get out of this EPUB. Let's go here. Let's go to interactive Swift preview. There we go. Don't give me grief here. Maybe it's an EPUB thing. There we go. So it's on my master page. I'm on the Swift preview of interactivity. I'm loading everything. And again, multi-state back, right? And what you might choose to do is turn the date poem page into a button that jumps you to a different page, right? But we have to think in terms of swiping and touching. So we have to work on all that. But anyway, that's our simple multi-state. Was that cool? And I didn't fail. I'm so proud. Yes, John?
I have found that practically speaking, if you put something like this on the web, it won't work on all devices and then all browsers.
Oh, that's probably true.
And I used to think that the only thing that would work in PDFs was hyperlinks, only to discover that if you have a PDF in Dropbox with hyperlinks, they won't work.
That's true too, for sure.
And that's where people are going to look at it.
That's possible on a cloud. It's possible. Anyway, we covered digital page setup. We covered units and increments. We covered strokes. We covered multi-state object, much to my surprise today, and master pages. Yeah? It gets you launched. Next week, please come with more research, more thumbnails, asking more questions, and we'll tinker around in some of this interactivity stuff. Don't forget your articles and exercises and all that stuff. Okay? Thank you guys. You're awesome.
Okay.